What's going on, everyone? I'm Encore. This is Tomorrow Never Comes, and today's video is all about day 2 of the Blockchain Futurist conference here in Toronto, Canada. And let's get right to the big question here: is what did Vitalik have to say? That's what's on everyone's mind. That's what packed the house at the conference. Very interesting that, you know, the venue is everyone's milling around throughout most of it, and when he went up to speak, everyone was by the stage and there was nothing happening in the rest of the venue. So it was very interesting to see. But what happened? I have no idea. Because I was at the back and I couldn't hear a thing, and it was so busy. He had a microphone and all that, but I couldn't hear a single thing he was saying. And when I could hear it, it was very low. I mean, he's not a very loud speaker. So it was just one of those things that I lost interest. I know. That's like blasphemy here in crypto land, to say that listening to Vitalik was not worth the while, right? To push and shove, maybe to get a little bit closer to hear. And to be fair, at the same time, I had met somebody that I was meaning to meet there, so that was a more prime objective for me than to listen to Vitalik. He was definitely up there. It's just when I was there and trying to listen and I couldn't hear, and the environment wasn't what I wanted it to be to actually listen, I was like, I can probably get this information later, right? Either he's mentioned what he's saying now in a different podcast or some stream somewhere, or this conference will have live streaming, and lo and behold, here's their live stream. And I'll put the link in the description. I have listened to it now. He does talk about some very fascinating things. It's not so much about the merge that's going to take place for Ethereum, but really what the merge allows going forward in the future. Right, so creating social platforms where you don't need to create an account. You can have a ETH wallet that kind of gives you that access. How you can have different ways of recovering your account keys or access based on, kind of allowing others to designating other entities, whether they be institutional or family and friends, but you can kind of designate a certain number of people as your group that would authenticate if you lost your social keys, and then provided 2 or 3 come together, whatever the stipulation is, you get access back. And then he also mentioned about ETH becoming faster. So not only is the technology is gonna get better itself, and the gas fees will be cheaper, but the transactions will be settled much faster, which will allow for even more applications to be performed on top of it. So he goes into it. You guys can check it out. It's about at the 4.5 hour mark or so, somewhere in around there, that you can check out what he definitely says. But here's the thing. I went there and I was like, man, this is great. The ETH founder, I mean, there are a few of them, but the main face of ETH, man, I'm so excited. And then I got there and I was doing my thing, and I didn't care. It just, you know what? To be honest, the travel got me. And here's the funny thing. It's in my home city, right? You would think it would be an easier situation or easier event to travel to. Not the case. I actually prefer going to conferences now outside of my country or outside of my city, because you get to stay in hotels that are close to the venue. And that's the thing here with this venue. They didn't pick anything that was that close. It wasn't far, but with all the construction, everything that's happening downtown, it just wasn't in a great place. That's why I mentioned in my previous video what I didn't like. It's just terrible. So for me, travel time was about an hour and a half one way. That because of the subway and then having to walk there, and so to be honest, so 3 hours. In travel time alone, I literally spent today maybe 2 hours. I think 2 hours at the actual conference. Like I said, beautiful docks, beautiful weather. Today was even better, and so very nice venue. I think I was just done, drained. And those are excuses to be made. I had objectives. I had certain people I wanted to meet. I met them. I was introduced to a few more people that I didn't expect to meet, so that was great. But I did not go through and try and network like an animal. I didn't. Right? And I'm beat. And I didn't even listen to a single event really in its entirety. So definitely some things that I personally could have managed better, but yeah, it is what it is. So here's the biggest, and here's what I wanted to highlight, okay? If you guys are going to attend these crypto conferences, try and attend conferences that have a proper messaging app. This is a big fail on the Blockchain Futurist Canada conference. They had a web app. I mean, we're supposed to be, this cutting edge technology, and we have a web app, first of all. Horrendous. But on top of that, there's no messaging component. You can't even connect with people there. Yes, you can use LinkedIn and Telegram and Discord and all that kind of stuff, but it's nice to have that app there on the platform so you can you can see beforehand who you want to message and who you want to reach out to. It's just a lot easier. And being a part of 2 other conferences that had it, I thought that was the standard. If that is the standard, blockchain is way below the standard. Let me put it that way. Okay, but great event overall. And look, I'm biased. It's in my hometown. It's my backyard. I got to be for it. But I think they've got a lot of work to do if they want to compete with, some of the more, like Consensus, for example, right on that level. It just wasn't organized as well for me. Again, I think that's a very important distinction to make, because you have to have a strategy or an objective or multiple objectives when you're going to these conferences. If you just want to consume content, fair play, right? Then you go and do that. If you want to raise money, you're a founder, you want brand awareness, what are you going to do for those objectives, right? If you're an investor, how many founders do you want to meet? How many other investors do you want to kind of talk to? Those types of things, have it in mind of this is what I want to do today, right? And it doesn't mean it has to be one only. You could do some in the first half of the day, some in the second half, or some on one day and then the next day do something else. But going into the conference on that day, there needs to be a strategy. I had it for today. I met it, and I was like, peace out. I just couldn't be bothered, right? I couldn't be bothered at all. So I wanted to highlight that. I was in the same room as Vitalik, but I didn't hear a thing, unfortunately, okay? But to be fair, I did watch his entire talk before making this video, so go check it out. Some great things that he's got to say. And check out the rest of the speakers, because there's some great content in there. And I think it's a great learning tool. Okay, but hey, hopefully next time around, I have nothing but flowers to give to Blockchain Futurist Canada. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Remember, tomorrow never comes. Take action, invest in yourself today, and I'll see you guys in the next video.